body from anything else. All right, I'll mute everyone. Also, if you have any questions, please turn on the mic and ask. Scoop the buttock flesh away from the sitting bones. Come forwards a little so you are on the very front end of the sitting bones. Just lean forwards and scoop the flesh so that when you are coming back to a straight position with your torso, you are already taking the weight to the front. So there's little weight on the lumbar spine area, because what I want is for you to feel that you can actually lift up from the tailbone, from the sacrum, from the lower back, lumbar spine, kidney region. You're lifting yourselves up. Roll the shoulders back and down a couple of times and lengthen the sides of the body up as you lengthen the arms down. Lift the neck, lift the crown of the head, and notice how you align the back of the head, the occipital bone, this one that looks like a cradle. Lengthen it up, but also align it to the lower back. So the chin is slightly coming back. Then take your hands together in front of your chest. Feel that you are not interested in what's going on in the camera. So relax that sense, relax this sense of the side, and then recede back with your eyeballs, with the pupils of your eyes. Bring them back, almost as if you had to actually switch the direction of your gaze inwards towards your brain without rolling the eyes. Yeah, it's just switching the direction. And then you will start feeling that your eyelids are getting heavier and need to lower down. As you descend your eyelids, remember that last Friday, for those of you who were here, remember we were trying to take the outer corners of our eyes outwards. And so the muscles around your eyes, such as the frown, the forehead, the temples, the cheekbones, are also releasing. Then relax the flesh of the cheeks, the lips, the joints of the jaw, and keep the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. Let the tongue peacefully lie flat on the bottom of the mouth, front of the lower teeth, or sorry, the back of the lower teeth, receiving the tip of the tongue. Take a deeper inhalation than before, and let's all chant 3 Ohms after. Om. Om. Inhale, lift the chest, exhale and bow your head. Then drop the palms down on your thighs and turn the palms to face the ceiling. Roll the shoulders back and down once more, still with the head facing down. Inhale and lift the chest all the way up to your chin. Keep lengthening your elbows down. One more inhalation and lift the head up. Open your eyes and let us start. All right, we'll start in Adho Mukha Kevarasana, child's pose. What I would like is for us to have a little bit of something to put our hands on, which is not a brick, because we will have the head on a brick. Francesca, if you don't have any kind of yoga props at all, just make do with what you have, like a couple of books or something, yeah? Chair, if you have a chair, most of the yoga chairs have got a crossbar, But if you don't have a chair with a crossbar, take a coffee table or a stool or something. The idea is that the hands are a bit higher than my head. I hope you can see that. Sue Pitchford and Sue Stokes, if you want to have a bolster between your buttocks and your heels, you can have a bolster and then go straight down. Maybe your brick will have to be a bit higher than the flattest level, okay? Hands, in your case, if you have the head on a brick and the brick is up on height, you can have the hands on the seat of the chair instead. So extend your trunk, sit your buttocks on the heels, flatten the hands on the surface you have, and then turn the upper arms from the inside out. So the bit of upper arm that's closest to your ears, take it up. The bit of upper arms that's closest to the outer side, the outside of the mat, turn it down. And you will notice that there is some space being built between your ears, your neck, your shoulders, the back of the head. If you can, Ruth, extend the elbows. Can you? Ruth, yeah, extend the elbows. Press the hands down onto something. Feel the extension on the sides of the body. If this is uncomfortable for anyone's knees, please take more height for your buttocks. Now feel the center of your spine. The center of your spine, the bit of spine between the shoulder blades. Push it down as you push your hands down. And then extend again the occipital bone, the backbone of your head, up and away from the neck to the chair. And visualize your tailbone and pull the tailbone away from the head. Tailbone away from the head. You don't need to close your eyes in this one. If you feel comfortable closing your eyes, do so. Otherwise, feel the outer corners of your eyes spreading loosely. So the gaze is blurred. And then inhale, release your hands from where they are and come back to a kneeling position or straight up position. We will repeat these actions, but instead of having the chest facing down, we will twist. So that means that I still need some support for my arm, only one arm, and the head. Maybe the brick will be up on height, maybe the brick will be on the sides. Let me show you. So we will go into Adho Mukha Kevarasana, and let me do it on that side. So the right hand will bend and my left heel will be on the brick. As I was saying before, maybe you need the brick up on high. That right hand is pushing down because I don't know if you can see, but my chest is twisting from the left to the right. My left hand is really pushing into the chair or the other brick, and my right hand is pushing into the ground, but my elbow is bent. So I am making this sort of a push and pull action, twisting my body away from the floor. Shall we try it? The head will go higher than it was before because the chest is turning. So don't worry if you have to lift the bricks higher. 2 big toes together, 2 knees apart. Move your body forwards and place the left hand down on the chair or on a brick, whatever you were using before. Now turn your head and look over to your right. So the left heel will be on the brick. And then bend your right elbow and push your hand down, cup your fingers. Right hand is kind of near my right knee. It's not that far away from my right knee. And I am bending my elbow out, but I am very strong with both hands. My left hand is trying to bring my outer left armpit down, and my right hand is trying to bring my right shoulder away from the floor. Also, soften your abdomen. You want this turn to happen from the top of your chest and not from the abdomen or lower abdomen, especially if you have had just an up around your lower abdomen. Soften the pelvic floor, soften the bit behind the navel. You can again close your eyes and extend the head. Lock your left elbow though. Lock your left elbow. Push your hand down. And then bring the right hand closer to the left hand, to the chair. Turn your head over to the other side. So now your right ear will be in touch with the brick. Left hand is closest to my left knee, and then pushing the fingers of my left hand, I will turn my spine, my rib cage, my chest. Carry on extending the right arm and try to bring the outer edge of the shoulder blade and the outer armpit down to the floor. Keep pushing with both hands. One arm is straight, one arm is bent. The arm that's bent is helping you twist. Roll the left shoulder up to the ceiling and lift the chest up to the chin. Inhale and come back up. To the center and up. Right. Before we go into downward dog, if you have a belt handy, take a belt. Otherwise, you will use your thumbs. If you're using your thumbs because you don't have a belt, the thumbs will be across the top of the thigh, rolling out and pushing back. If you have a belt, you catch the belt and do the same action with the belt, push back. Again, if your knees are calling for help, you can sit on the chair and do this sitting with your buttocks on the chair, yeah? We will come forwards again. We'll not be touching the ground this time or the brick. It's just a 45-degree angle. So hands around the hips or hands holding the belt from very near the hips, and then lengthen. So Karen, what you can do is with the palms open, push the outer hips away from you. Push the outer hips to the wall behind you. And then the rest of us lengthen into a 45-degree angle. What you want is the outer hips to go away from the neck. The neck is extending forwards. The crown of the head wants to reach the ceiling. The abdomen is receding back because I am pressing down with my thumbs or with my belt. Whichever version you're doing, bend your elbows a little and take your tailbone down, tailbone to the heels, tailbone to the heels. Lengthen the spine. You want to dissociate the legs away from your spine. The legs are extending back. So feel this following feeling. From the knees to the second toe, back. And from the knees to the sitting bone, back. Both sides or both halves of the legs are extending backwards like an arrow, whilst your torso is trying to take the head forward. And now come back. Right. In this following one, Karen, you can have the 2 elbows bent and go to a chair to do downward facing dog. And you can also have a brick to rest your head on. The rest of us are going to have either brick or a bolster, or a bolster with a brick underneath for downward facing dog. Holding the legs of the chair, we're going to come up and then rest your head on the brick, on the bolster, or on the brick and bolster. What if you have very tight hamstrings, do what Karen is doing. Put your hands on the chair, rest your head on the seat. Okay? So otherwise, hands are hugging the legs of the chair. This will keep my hands safe. Come up first and then attach your head. Don't bring your head first, head down first, and then sort out the rest of the body. Do your downward dog and then feel how much height you need to rest your head on. The weight automatically will want to go to your arms, but if you bend your knees a little, you will gain more weight on the legs. Gain more weight on the legs. So, page 4, don't stay there for too long, yeah? Come down halfway, yeah? Don't stay there for too long. Don't stretch the muscles too long. Lengthen the tailbone up and away. Lengthen the base of the skull down. Great. So we're doing downward facing dog, Francesca, with the head on some support. Head on a chair, head on a sofa, or on a bolster, whatever you have handy. Turn the upper arms from the inside out, just as we did earlier today. And then walk yourselves up towards the hands. If you need to bend your knees, of course. And then inhale, come back up one vertebra at a time. Right. For those of us, well, I will show you the following asana. If you don't have a chair handy, you will be doing a variation. People who do have a chair, it doesn't have to be a yoga chair, yeah? It doesn't have to be a yoga chair. And you can also use a sofa. I will have my legs wider than the legs of the chair. I will show you from the front in a moment. And then I'll come to my toes and get the traction. This is what I want to gain, traction. It would be ideal to have bricks for your feet if your legs are too short, because then your legs can stretch comfortably. What I want is for you to be able to pull the muscles from the creases of your hips all the way to the elbows and beyond. Now, you can stay here, Karen, with elbows on the seat of the chair. And those of us who don't have a yoga chair or who don't want to do this action, Prasarita Padhanasana, so legs wide open, and you will go to the ground with your head, legs wide open, and you can build up your support for your head. If you don't have bricks, use a chair, use the bed, use the cushions from the sofa. Whatever you have at hand will be okay to use. That's it. And then so page 4, be very careful with this one. If you feel any discomfort or distress, just go into that wide legs without the chair in front of you, okay? Right, the rest of us. Sandy, can you open your legs a bit wider and maybe use the bricks as platforms? So the bricks are outside the legs of the chair and then fall forward. I put a blanket there so that my hips are not uncomfortable. You don't have to release the whole body weight on the chair. You can certainly be using your legs and certainly be using your elbows, your arms. So Ruth R, see if you can do this crossing of the elbows on top of the edge of the seat, over the edge of the seat. Can you? There you go. You have very long arms and very long torso. So now with the outer armpits, pull towards you. Pull as if you wanted to lift the head and look up. Yes. Can you feel the traction now? Great. Now, lengthen the tailbone. Lengthen the tailbone to the opposite direction as your head. Rest your head wherever you can rest it, either on top of your hands, on top of your forearms, or on the seat. Use your legs. Remember to draw the thighs up, draw the kneecaps up, so the legs are still extending. That's it. You're there. Now, Sandy, see if you can hook the elbows over the edge. Yes. And now pull towards you. Yes. So you have some traction around the armpit area and the hip area to elongate the spine. John, can you open the legs wider to either side of the legs of the chair? So you're coming lower down. You have very long legs and your yoga chair is very short. John? Yes, great. Okay. Yes. So open the legs wider. Can you? There you go. Change the crossing of your elbows if you're crossing your elbows. Feel the extension of the spine. Feel the traction of your spine. Okay. And now very gently start climbing your waist up and gently come up to a standing pose. Move the chair away. If you are stepping on bricks, move the chair away for a moment. We will not need it just for now. Now, if you don't have a bolster at home, roll up a blanket or bring a pillow from the bed. If you do have a bolster, bring the bolster and place it across your yoga mat. And so we are going to be alongside the yoga mat. This can also be done with a pillow. You don't need to have one rounded bolster. You can do this with a pillow. We will be sideways on. So the stretch of the spine will be sideways. So I am basically, oh, brilliant. That's brilliant, Francesca. You have that Pilates roll. So now we have the two buttocks, one stuck on top of the other, and I'm sideways on. My right side of the body is over the bolster, but it doesn't matter which side. Remember, we're going to go backwards as well. So make sure you are more to the front of the bolster. So you have some fabric, some material behind you. Now, the two hips are on the floor. I mean, they are not hanging up. This is what I mean. The right buttock is on the floor. Extend the right arm along the mat. And then if you can, extend the legs. You don't need to stretch the legs fully. What I want is for you to feel that you can definitely stretch the left outer side of your body. So bring the two arms overhead and lengthen the legs away. The legs don't have to be straight, otherwise it will be difficult to balance. But feel the stretch from the outer left hip all the way to the armpit. So the spine, visualize your spine starting there at the pubic bone level and then going over that beautiful arch. And instead of feeling that this is a very stiff bolster, feel that this is, you are the bridge and there's water coming through. So the bolster is the water of your bridge. You are your bridge. Interlace your fingers and pull more strongly with your left hand more and more and more away from your head. The head is resting on the right arm, and then extend your legs a little bit more. Extend your legs a little bit more. Take a deep inhalation breath and lift the chest to the chin, but visualize your spine from the tailbone over the bridge to the left arm. So the left arm is extending away. Now we are going to start moving the left arm more or less as if we had to draw a half circle on the floor. It doesn't matter if the hand doesn't touch the floor, but you want to go backwards with your spine on the bolster. Mark a semicircle with your left arm and then use your hips to bring you back to the side. So one more time, inhale deeply. Open that chest. Let the water go through underneath your bridge. Open that bridge. Mark a semicircle with the left arm and then come up again to the side. Last one. You can even close your eyes. Let the head roll also. So from the right to the left. And then hips first, and with the weight of your hips, you can come up. Now, bend the left knee and bring it closer to the bolster. Bend the left knee, bring it closer to the bolster. Bend the left arm, and so your belly will be almost facing the bolster. Now, push your two hands down and come up with one vertebra at a time. Last thing to come up is your head. All right. Other side, friends. So we were using the bolster for the right. So now your left buttock is on the floor. My two legs are bent to begin with. Hook the bolster right at the edge of the hip bone of the pelvic crest, and then move your body over. Remember that you've got to respect that curvature, articulate your spine, and also make sure you have enough material behind you. You don't really want to roll and fall. You want to feel supported. Extend the two arms over your head. Then see if you can stretch your legs a little, even if they are still bent. You want to release the outer right hip down, lengthen the top arm up, and stretch the top arm. Lengthen the armpit to the arm, and from the armpit down to the waist and hip, lengthen the right leg more. Right arm over your head, right leg over to the wall behind you. Now from here, we are going to undo the interlacing of the fingers and start rolling to the back so that I can mark a semicircle with my right arm until the bolster is supporting my whole back. So I am lengthening the arm and opening my chest. Let the rib cage open up. Inhale, roll the hips, make the hips work first, and then the rib cage. Do it from the strength of the hip. Now one more time. Make a semicircle with your right arm towards the right wall. You can even turn the head. Lift the chest as you open it. Lift it and feel that you are the bridge and the water is passing by through you, underneath you. Come back to the center using the hips first, then turn the rib cage, then turn the rest of the body. One last time. Lengthen as you turn. Be on top of the whole bolster. Your back, the two sides of the rib cage are on the bolster. The pelvis is facing the ceiling. And then come back to center. Stay there for a little moment longer. And then bend your right leg so that the knee is coming closer. Bend the right elbow so the elbow is coming closer to the bolster. Then push both knee and hand on the floor as you can. Bring yourselves back up, one vertebra at a time. The last thing that comes up is your head. Right. So now we're going to come into Subtab Asana. The bolster would be along my mat this time, buttocks on the floor. So maybe, Francesca, you want to have something like a blanket between the cylinder and the lower back, so it's not that sharp. The rest of us, simply bend your knees, lightly bend your knees, because in a moment we will bring the chair and we'll bring the feet up to the chair. So lightly, with the diamond shape between the two legs and thighs, and then go back. If you are feeling uncomfortable in this position, get something extra for your head. For example, another pillow or a foam pad or a blanket. Rotate your arms from the inside out. Let the legs release down. Let the spine still create a bridge position, but now only from the chest to the tailbone. From the chest to the tailbone. So it's a quarter of the bridge, not the whole bridge. Inhale and open the chest. Exhale and spread the back. Spread the back along or across the bolster. Inhale and exhale. Every time you inhale, lift the chest from your shoulder blades, almost as if you didn't want to touch the bolster with your shoulder blades. Feel that now the bolster, still being the water, gently pushes you up like a wave. So the bolster is the water creating a wave that's creating, it's being created in the back, the top of your back, and then it splashes at the back of the neck and head. Feel that circular energy from the shoulder blades up to the neck, lengthening the back of the head away from you. Right. Now, Bring your hands to the outer side of your thighs and use the hands to close the knees up. Then with your right arm, be ready to catch your body as you roll over onto the right side and then come up to a sitting position. Okay. This is going to be an exercise for those of us who are very tall. You may need to have something extra for your back of the knees. For example, one of the bricks at the back of the you can use the chair like this, or you can use the chair from the seat forwards. Yeah, I don't mind. What I mean to say is that if you're a very tall person and you have long thighs, you will be probably better, even myself, I'm better off wedging myself with a brick. You can also do this action if you don't have a yoga chair. You can put your buttocks against the sofa and lie your legs on the sofa cushion, yeah? You don't have to have the yoga chair to do this action. If you do have a yoga chair, even better. If your chair is taller, you will not need a brick to wedge the back of the knees. I am doing the same action, which means the bolster is behind my back, behind my waist, the buttocks are lowering down, and the legs are up on height. So, if you feel that your legs will want to go sideways, simply get a belt and wrap it around your thighs. Move the bolster as close to the chair as you can, meaning your waistline should be well supported. And if this is very uncomfortable for anyone's lumbar spine, slide your hands under. You slide your hands underneath your buttocks, and that should work. That same traction that we were creating today in downward dog, leaning against the chair, it's the same traction we're going to create now between the thighs and your buttocks. So the knees are well wedged, whether with the sofa, the chair, or the brick. My buttocks are really near the chair, which means that I can slide the legs of the chair closer to me. It's not like the Viparita Karani we do against the wall, where the buttocks are always away from the wall. Lengthen the base of the skull away from you. Open the two shoulders, the two collarbones, and the two arms. And then lengthen the head. If the head is tilting, if you feel that the chin is higher than your forehead, go ahead and put a little blanket or a pillow for your head. Now, there is traction. Feel lightness around the lower back. Feel lightness when you push the calf muscles to the chair, and the buttocks are almost floating. Of course, they are still touching the ground, but there's barely any pressure, barely any tension around the lower back and the buttocks against the floor. Press the lower legs into the chair, the sofa, or the brick, and let the lumbar spine lengthen. Let the hip bones come up towards your abdomen. Let the abdomen soften. Again, you can turn the hands from the inside out. Turn the arms away from your body. It's warmer weather today, so we don't really need to have the heels of the hands so close to us. We can take them away. Feel freedom for breathing. So you need to create space space in your chest to lift it up. And exhale completely. If you do have a backrest of a chair, take one leg out away from where it is now and place the leg straight against the backrest. Do the same with your other leg. If you don't have a backrest, don't worry. What I want is the legs to be in some kind of Padhanasana, opening out to the sides, and the outer edges of your feet or outer ankles will be touching the chair backrest or the seat of the chair. So if you don't have a backrest, open the knees out to the sides and rest the outer soles of your feet on the bricks or on the seat of the chair. This is for those of us who don't have a backrest behind. Otherwise, stretch your legs in Viparita Karani. The chest is lifted, the legs are slightly bent, the buttocks are lower than my abdomen, and I am lifting the chest, rolling the shoulders, lifting the shoulder blades, opening the collarbones, resting the jaw, resting the facial muscles. Again, have that feeling that the tailbone is barely touching the ground. So there is space for the lower back to broaden from kidney to kidney, and also the lower back spinal vertebrae are opening, spreading, enjoying that nice articulating movement. Now we're all going to bend the knees, bring the knees to your chest, roll over onto the right hand side, and slowly, slowly, slowly come up. Right. Take your bolster across your mat. We will not need the chair anymore. Bolster across your yoga mat, and you can have a blanket. This is not necessary, not essential, but if you want, it'll be softer for your shoulders. So my shoulders will be on the blanket, the head on the mat, and this is for my buttocks. I simply sit on that bolster, lengthening my tailbone away from me, and then have, I hope you can see, the shoulders supported by that blanket and the head on the ground. So the shoulders supported will give me that soft effect, that velvety effect of the blanket to open and spread. I want to create like a 5-pointed star. The bolster will be across my the bulkiest bit of your buttocks, not the waistline. Yeah, you want the bolster for your buttocks, not the waist. And then open the arms out to the sides, open the legs out to the sides. So you are basically, if someone was taking a picture of you from above, you would be, you would look like a 5-pointed star or a snow angel, whichever you prefer. Let the legs roll out, lift the chest, be on the super edges of your shoulders. So the very back corners, edges of the collarbones. Spread from the center of your 7th cervical vertebrae out to the corners of the shoulders and beyond. Let the fingers go away from your shoulders. Stretch the wrists away from your shoulders, elbows away from your shoulders, even the shoulder girdle away from your trunk. pubic bone is slightly coiled up. Don't let the pubic bone go down over your bolster. This is a restful Setu Bandha. We should be able to stay here a longer time than we usually stay for the Setu Bandha with a brick, for example. Be open. Let the air come in. Listen, connect, observe, and feel are all verbs that usually yoga teachers use to indicate what you can do between your brain and your body. They all mean the same eventually: surrender. In order to surrender, we need to basically open up and let go. Opening up and let go is one of the most difficult things. It's not like we are taking a box of Kleenex and dropping it just by opening the hand. That would be the most literal meaning of letting go. But what about pain, physiological pain or emotional pain? What about memories? What about all the limitations? What about everything that we have been gathering throughout our lives? From our upbringing to our religious ideals, to the different practices and the different people we have been we have come across with, and their influence, of course. That is all there, and in a way we protect it. We protect without easily letting go. Maybe because of fear, maybe because of circumstances. There are a million and more reasons why we cannot come from one stage to the other. The important thing is, however, everything is in constant change and transformation. So the more we stay with old limitations, ideals, thoughts, or sensations, the less we can enjoy the present moment. Stress is one of the most common denominators, but stress can also be presented in different ways or experienced in different ways. Ignoring pain and discomfort does not support emotional regulation. Interceptive awareness does. What this means is paying attention to your bodily cues to help you understand and interpret the ways that stress affects you and can help you choose behaviors that will adequately meet the need to relieve that stress. Learning to pay attention to your inner state of being helps regulate your emotional responses to both minor and major stressors. Knowing where we hold stress in our body and how we are affected mentally and emotionally takes alert awareness and practice. We have something very strong in common, which is our yoga practice. The yoga practice is the main or one of the most important or one of the most evident or proved methods to recognize what's going on in your body. We are observing it, studying it, connecting with it, using the intelligence from the brain into the body. So we have a huge advantage. The key is to pinpoint that stress, that discomfort, that pain, ailment. And then once you have checked it in, receive it, greet it, accommodate it, and then check it out. The body has the tendency, or it is supposed to look for homeostasis. So the body, our body, will always want to come back to balance, to the healthy state of being, joyful state of being. So whether we like it or not, whether we resist it or not, the body will try and find its way to health. Our practice encourages alert awareness. Very gently bend your knees, remove the bolster from where it is and put it on top of where it is now. So if you have it under your buttocks now, lift your buttocks ever so slowly and land them back and put your bolster back across the top of the thighs, lower abdomen area. Su, if this is uncomfortable, Su, P, if this is uncomfortable, ignore it. Now, with the bolster there, of course, we're feeling it. We're all feeling it. And there is weight on the lower side of the body, which means that the top side of the body will flow with more ease. The top of the chest will feel freer to breathe in. And the mind is less aware of all the reasoning brain and more aware of the feeling brain, which means only just a little bit of weight on the bottom of your body will activate the feeling of joy and peace in the top of your chest. The chest can breathe in with more ease. Take a deeper inhalation than before. Hold it for 2 seconds. And then as you release, feel that you can lengthen the tailbone beyond the level of your bolster. And clench the jaw, the fists. Lengthen your breath. And then in turn, the heartbeat will also slow down and communicate the brain that everything is okay. So inhale deeply, lifting your chest, enjoying this sense of freedom in the top of your chest. Exhale completely, going beyond the bolster, the level of the bolster with your tailbone, with the back of the waist. In the next inhalation breath, see if you can, again, pinpoint or figure out where the tension, the stress, or the discomfort is coming from. And hold it as we were talking about it before. Hold the breath for a couple of seconds. Say hello, greet those feelings, and then exhale, long, smooth, velvety exhalation breath to greet those discomforts bye-bye. One more time. Inhale, and as you inhale, feel that you are scanning the body in search for those stressors or discomforts or ailments. When you reach the top of your lungs, hold the breath for a couple of seconds, and then see how, as if you had a vacuum cleaner at the bottom of your feet, sweeping all those feelings, hoovering all those feelings, sucking up. Exhale completely. And then gently go back to your normal breathing. The key is to understand the body. When we understand the body, we can tame the brain. And then the emotional regulation happens. Emotional regulation is nothing but an unbalance of feelings. When we get the emotional regulations, benefits in the health and well-being system will happen. Then we will form and sustain connections with others, support the ability to competently manage life's many and varied situations wisely. Very gently, bring your hands to find the bolster that's on top of your abdomen and see if you can move the bolster to the right side of you alongside your body. So then when you bend, bend only the left knee and roll onto the bolster with your left knee. The left knee will end up on top of the bolster and maybe even your left elbow. Hold your head with your right arm though. Still feel the broadness across the lumbar spine and across the thoracic spine. And then just as we did earlier today, press your left hand either on the bolster or on the ground and carry on rolling to the right until you can sit yourselves up very gently. Bow your head down and say thank you to your bodies and minds for